Drive hit deep towards left. Here's Datras back towards the track, back towards the wall. He leaps and he makes the catch. Oh, wow, what a grab by Datras. And it's gone! Rockies #1 prospect, Zach Bean, has given the Goats a 4-3 lead with a home run into the top tank of Dunkin' Donuts Park.
You are watching the Goat Gazette, the officially unofficial YouTube channel of the Hartford Yard Goats. And this is our first show of 2023, and I am your host, Midnight Mike. Welcome to the show. I am very excited to be here. One of the main things that we are going to be talking about on this show, wait, let's hit that goat one more time. One of the things we're going to be talking about on this show, and the highlight of this show, is the return of our boss, our manager, Chris Denorfia, will be coming back to take the helm for the Hartford Yard Goats in the 2023 season, and we will get to that a little later in the show. But first thing I want to do is see if any of you caught this. There was an article up on MILB.com, and you'll see it says, hats off to some of the coolest caps of 2022. New looks, nostalgia, continue to captivate fans from across the country. Now, I hope there's not going to be any feedback because I have to pull out my phone in order to do this next part because I want to be able to read it for you. But I will show you the article because in this article, it talks about the top 5 or 10 caps that were sold in the minor leagues, in minor league baseball this past season, and the Yard Goats continue to be one of those top sellers with their outstanding logos and such. So let's check out this article and see what it has to say. All right, what it reads is Hartford burst onto the scene in 2016 as one of the early adopters of the quirky compound team name, like the Trash Pandas, Sod Poodles, and the Space Cowboys. Actually, the Trash Pandas, that's funny because a guy I work with actually was always walking around with a Trash Pandas hat. And it's funny because I'm always wearing Yard Goat stuff. He's wearing Trash Panda stuff, but it's because he's a big fan of the LA Angels. The hat was, this is once again about the Yard Goats, the hat was equally unique, putting a chomping goat where you typically see a letter or a snarling face. But although the name feels more familiar now, the grandiose design still attracts fans from across the country and at home in Connecticut. Locals gravitate to the blue and green shades, paying homage to the former NHL team, the Hartford Whalers. And a couple of years after the Yard Goats found their branding, the USL's Hartford Athletic, that's the soccer team, adopted the same scheme. It really sort of set off a domino effect of now green and blue being the city's colors, and you're starting to see green and blue pop up in a lot of places to represent Hartford, and that's something I love. Said that I added the love part. That quote was from Jeff Dooley, the Hartford Yard Goats director of broadcasting. And while sports fans continue debating the greatest of all time, Hartford is the real winner. I think just that added serendipitous boost of the concept of a goat has really helped us as well. And he spelled, obviously, as you can see, he spelled goat, G period, O period, A period, T period, greatest of all time. And I honestly think that the Yard Goats could have the greatest minor league logo of all time. I mean, the logo I'm wearing, the standard Hartford Yard Goats cap. Now I'm wearing the alternate with the green brim, but the standard, even the standard one, is such an amazing logo. But my actual favorite is the one, what is it, right back here? Where is it? There. The one Jason's wearing. It's the like italicized H with the horns on the top. That's my favorite one because, and I've said this before, I believe on the Goat Gazette, it's because of the New York Yankee NY, the Boston B, the Cubs C, just that simple, keep it simple, stupid, kiss, right? But anyway, yeah, it's a great article. And once again, the Yard Goats are at the tops as far as logos. And last season, of course, was still the tops in stadiums. It won best minor league ballpark in the country, Dunkin' Donuts Park. That's incredible. Now, before we get to the Chris Denorfia story, I do have one more thing I want to show you here. Right here. I love the idea of the steamed cheeseburgers. Now, I don't remember. I believe this could have been one of the finalists for the name of the Hartford Yard Goats. I know there was the Whirly Birds, a few other names before Yard Goats was decided on. But they do sell in the team store all of the stuff for the Hartford steamed cheeseburgers. And sometimes the goats come out in the steamed cheeseburger uniform. This was off their Instagram, which I suggest you go and follow at Hartford Yard Goats. I love the logo. Now, they used to have a hat, you see here on the shirt, with the steaming cheeseburger, the Mad Cheeseburger. And then now they're mostly selling the hat you see there, where it's the French fries with the dripping ketchup making up the H of Hartford. I love that logo, but the hat is just too much for me, looking like an actual cheeseburger. I mean, do you remember the Pittsburgh Pirates hats that they had the back in the 80s? It had the circle yellow stripes around it. That was one of the ugliest hats in baseball, in my opinion. And then remember the California Angels? We were just talking about them. Had the hat with the halo. It's too much. It's too much. I love the logos, though. But the one thing that I am catching here is Dunkin' Donuts Park. As I know, I could be wrong. I have not gone to every eatery in Dunkin' Donuts Park, but I have been to most of them. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't know if they sell steamed cheeseburgers in the park. If they don't, that is an absolute travesty. I actually had, I'm a Connecticut import. When I first came here and heard of steamed cheeseburgers, I actually did go to a place and record it. And on my main YouTube channel, the Midnight Mike Show, I will eventually put that. It was like last summer. I will eventually find that footage and put it together of me trying a steamed cheeseburger for the first time. But yeah, I love the logo. I love the Beer Burgers baseball shirt. But like I said, I hope they can do something else with the hat. Maybe just do an all yellow hat. I don't know. It's just something I wanted to talk about. But now it's time to talk about what we came here for. The first episode of the Goat Gazette in 2023. And it's about the return of our skipper, Chris Denorfia. They announced it via their Instagram, as you can see here. He's coming back with his hitting, pitching, and bench coaches. Once again, he's a great manager as far as the experience that I've watched the Yard Goats, and he's the manager. He has, I think this is going to be his third season as the manager. I could be wrong, but I know he was there last year, and last year they broke a bunch of records. And I have some footage from the press conference, and you have to give me the benefit of the doubt here. The lag in this video is not me. It's actually, if you go onto their Facebook page and scroll down to the press conference, the lag was on their end, not on my end. So cut me some slack here. I do have some stuff here talking about all the accomplishments the Goats made. Is the introduction of Chris Denorfia as the 2023 Hartford Yard Goats manager. Let's check this stuff out.
That Chris Denorfia will be back for a third season. We got the news just last week, and we're just so excited. He is so important to us both on and off the field. He understands some of the things that we need to do to be successful in the community, and obviously he's second to none in terms of development. A couple of notables from last year: the most wins in franchise history, the best record. The Yard Goats were in the pennant race both the first and second half of the season, and at one point in July, the club was 24 games above 500. The team established new franchise records in runs and home runs, on base, slugging, and that's just to name a few. And we all know about the development that he's brought to this team and franchise. Numerous promotions to AAA, 4 players reaching the major leagues from last year's club. 9 players have reached the major leagues since he became manager in 2021. So we're thrilled that he's spending some time with us today. Please welcome Chris Denorfia.
Over all those things. The thing I think is most important, and this is me being greedy as a Goats fan, is almost making the playoffs. We were really in it the first half of the season. It came down to one game against the Somerset Patriots, and then in the second half of the season, we really fell off, and I was very disappointed with how the team fell off. But all those other accomplishments, great. 4 guys headed up to the majors. If I can remember from off the top of my head, Motolia went up. I think he was the first baseman. Ezekiel Tovar, the shortstop. And then later in the season, I believe it was, Gavin Hollowell, one of our relief pitchers, and I believe Noah Davis. I'm not positive on that last one, but I believe Noah Davis was brought up to the Rockies. And that's 4 guys directly from the Hartford Yard Goats pretty much that went up. I think Tolia had a short stint in Albuquerque, but he was brought right up. So good luck to all those guys. And on a next Yard Goat, Goat Gazette, I do plan on discussing some of the guys that are familiar faces that hopefully, once again, that's me being greedy, will be back with the Yard Goats next season, because obviously we want these guys to move up in their careers and they don't want to be stagnant in AA ball, but we're Yard Goats fans. We want them here. If we could pull back Michael Tolley and Ezekiel Tovar, I would. I'd say take off that Colorado Rocky purple and get back into your green and blue, guys. But anyway, here's Chris Denorfia as soon as he took the podium, and this was before he fielded any questions. So let's look at that.
Thanks. Hi, everybody. Okay, so I'm ecstatic to be back. I say it every year. I cannot imagine a better job for me. And you know, when I started, I wasn't really sure. Am I going to like this? Am I not going to like this? And I've truly, really come to love it. And part of it is because I get to do it here. I get to do it in my community where I grew up and amongst these people. The show that is put on here nightly, regardless of our record, and the product that the Rockies are putting out here is just phenomenal. And it's a great place to spend an evening or a weekend afternoon. And I'm just glad I get to be a part of it. And last year was a really special year for us. We had some great players. We had a great team. And with the support of this place, I really couldn't ask for anything more. So with that, let's fire away.
And that was awesome. And let's see. Chris Denorfia. I want you to go over to the Facebook page and check out the full press conference if you're interested. I did take one question that I will show you now, but I don't want to give away the farm, so I want you guys to go over to the Hartford Yard Goats Facebook page, and you can check that out. But the one question that I would have asked had I been there, which I might in the future, I might try to get myself a press pass for the Hartford Yard Goats so I can ask some questions. But something that I would have asked would have been, do you feel any pressure with last season just missing out on the playoffs to get this team their first playoff appearance in franchise history? And that question was pretty much asked along with the success of guys moving up and whatnot. So I do want to show you what he had to say when asked about the playoffs, about last season, and can the continued success of the playoffs and or promotions up to Albuquerque or Colorado. So let's check that out.
Progression look like for the next step while keeping in mind that you are trying to sign guys?
Well, I think we were on the right track last year, and I think as long as we keep developing guys like we are with the message that we are, just relaying how much we care about developing winners. You know, we've had success at the lower level as well in regards to wins, so that feeds up. We generally send up teams within a window of a year or two together. So these guys have developed winning baseball games. And that is something that I think sometimes isn't focused on enough in development. That part of being a really good player is playing a really good winning baseball. And when you only care about winning a baseball game, you end up being a better baseball player anyways. So it's a harder message to sell, but once you get that taste of winning, you really don't want to experience it any other way. And that, I think, we're going to have a pretty good run with this current generation of Rockies players coming up through our system, getting so many wins.
There it is. Once again, my main concern is getting into the playoffs. There's nothing I'd want more, and I'm sure any of you GOAT fans out there would want more than to be able to go into the team store and buy something that says Eastern League Champions with the GOAT logo on it. That's something I look forward to. That's, whatever. But as a manager, he almost got us there. He got us to the greatest record that we ever had. He got 4 guys promoted up to the Colorado Rockies. Now, they had a part of it. He had a part of it. But you need to be a great player with a great manager to end up getting to your full potential in baseball. And he deserves the credit as much as the guys who got promoted deserve the credit. That's all the time that I have for this episode of the GOAT Gazette on YouTube. Please give a like below, subscribe. These are little things you can do to help me keep motivated and help me continue to do more GOAT Gazettes and follow the team. I've got portable studio ready to go live from Dunkin' Donuts Park and talk to all of you. I'm so excited to do that. I also would love to get some of the Colorado Rockies podcasters on here and do a split stream with them and let them know what they have coming to them in Colorado sometime. I'd love to do all of that. And look, there's more coming. Like I said, next GOAT Gazette, hopefully we'll be talking about yard goats that we expect to be back, familiar names, familiar faces, and all of that. So thank you very much. I am Midnight Mike, your host, and this was the officially unofficial YouTube channel of the Hartford Yard Goats. I can't wait to see you next time.
God goes baseball, the fun never ends. Eat it up, eat it